Hi everybody, well I'm recording this on the 15th of November 2022, which means the release of WarZone 2.0 is less than 24 hours away at 6 o'clock UK time tomorrow on the 16th, and depending on your timeline, something like that around the world. But I thought it might be interesting to do a quick video about potential loadouts for WarZone tomorrow. And I guess a little bit about how you can test them. I mean, we haven't really got much time left, and of course once WarZone starts and we jump into the game, different metas will appear. You know, you watch your favourite YouTubers, Jack Frags and people like that, see what guns they say are very good. But just bear in mind, of course, that this is on Xbox. This is on console I'm talking about, not on PC. And these are guns that I think are probably good starting points, or good starting points for me. So let's start off with my STB loadout that I think might be good. So this loadout basically is an STB 5.56 with an M4 with the scope on as a fully automatic sort of DMR. Of course, the heartbeat sensor, frag grenade, perk package I'll show you in a second, and dead silence. So let's have a look at this in a little bit more detail. So the STB, where is it going? That's not the STB 5.56. There we go. That's the STB 5.56, the bullpup assault rifle. I've very much enjoyed this in the game, playing 6v6, and I think this could be pretty good in WarZone as well. Now, in WarZone, generally you're engaging players at longer distances than you are in 6v6. So what I've gone for here is a build that concentrates the rifle on accuracy when you're using it with automatic fire, so for extended periods. Not necessarily aim down sight speed. So we've gone with the Bruin barrel, the Castle compensator, the Ripper 5.56 grip, and we've got a 42 round mag. So remember, in WarZone people are going to have armor. You're going to need to be able to keep taking them on, especially if you're playing duos, trios and squads, or quads, whatever they call it, where you're going to have to be taking on multiple enemies at once. Now, there is a very, very strong argument in Modern Warfare 2 that you don't need to add every single attachment, and in fact, if you do, often you make the weapon worse. So I may well consider pulling off the rear grip, or maybe the compensator. And then as my kind of secondary, I've got the M4, and I've got this set up as a fully automatic DMR. So we've got the 45 round mag on there, we've got the Castle comp, we've got the 20-inch barrel, we've got the HMW 20 optic, which is an 8x optic. And the idea with this is that when you see an enemy, again, your aim down sight speed isn't going to be particularly fast, but it means that you'll be able to go fully auto, magnified in, to really get as many bullets as down range as fast as you can to damage them. One of the problems, one of the choices you have to make often with WarZone, well, and any shooter, is do you go for low firing, very, very high damage weapons? So for example, the ultimate example of that would be a one-shot kill sniper. That's a one-shot kill to the head and upper chest, but where you have to hit them. And when you're going up against moving targets, that can be very, very difficult. Whereas if you've got a fully auto weapon or a semi-auto, you've got a chance to you won't get as much damage into that target, but you've got more chance of hitting them because you get more bullets down range. So that's why we've gone for this baby. So let us jump into the firing range and let's just have a look. So this is the STP. Now look, that aim down sight speed is pretty slow, but the recoil pattern when we start firing it is very controllable. With a little push down on the right stick, we can really, really control it, and we can even engage people at quite long range. And now let's flick over to the M4 with the scope on, and what's the recoil control on this? You can control that recoil pretty well, and that big round 45 round mag means that you can really, keep firing. And remember, you can burst fire as well. So that seems like a good option. Now what we've also gone for as well, tactical. Now remember, your tactical and your lethal, you're going to be picking these up as you're moving around the map. I think we've got to try the heartbeat sensor for a few games, haven't we, just to see, is it as OP as it was in Modern Warfare normal, the first one, in terms of finding people, or by the time you get to the final circles, are people going to be running ghost, so you're not going to be able to see them on the heartbeat sensor anyway. I've gone for the good old frag. I've been getting a lot of kills with frags in the 6v6 mode. And then now perks. Now remember, with all of this, we're not quite sure what loadouts we're going to be able to take into Warzone. I have read, and it may be the fact that you buy at the buy stations, you buy your primary weapon. So you're going in, you'll buy like this STP-556 build, or you'll buy this particular build. We're not sure if it's going to be like in Warzone 1, where you'll get your whole loadout. But as far as perk goes, we've got Overkill and Bomb Squad. Now remember, in Warzone 2 you probably won't have to have Overkill, because you can pick up 2 guns as you're going along. Bomb Squad is there to help us take less damage off explosive, Fast Hands to swap between our primary and secondary really fast, and Ghost to keep us off those UAVs, and importantly to keep us off those heartbeat sensors. And I've thrown in a field upgrade. Again, field upgrades are things you're going to find as you're moving around the map. You're not going to have them as part of your loadout. Dead Silence, very good one to have, again, in the final circles where you need to make a push on somebody. You pop that Dead Silence and they won't hear you coming. Right, so let's look at this one. Now, this is the idea with this is that when you're playing solos, I think the RPG there's a very strong argument for always having an RPG, and in fact, in this loadout here with the STP, there's an argument for not having the M4 and replacing that with the RPG. And the reason why you have the RPG is that it gives you the option to take out enemies behind cover fairly easily. So let's say you're running along in the open and there's someone in a house 50 meters away or less. They start firing at you, and then they take cover. With an RPG you can fire it through the window, and that splash damage, you might not kill them, but it will do them enough damage where they've got to reapply their armor and they've got to kind of move on. It gives you time to get behind cover and move off. Especially when you're playing duos, quads and trios and squads. When you're down to one, you're in a 1v3 or 1v4 situation, but the only way that you can get out of that is with an RPG, because an RPG can kill 4. If 4 players are bunched up, RPG can kill them all. I've done it in Warzone 1. One of my best wins ever was a 1v4 that I had. And I did it because I had an RPG. They were hiding behind a rock. They had the circle. I had to move forward. I fired the RPG into the rock. That did them all significant damage. Then when we all had to start moving forward, another RPG into the ground where they were running to, killed them all. Absolutely fantastic. Also, often in solos, and this can happen in trios and squads and duos too, is if you come up against vehicles, you get a vehicle that's zooming towards you, you're in the open. If you haven't got an RPG, you can't take it out. Now the RPG won't take out trucks with one shot, but it will take out the smaller vehicles with one shot, and things like helicopters as well. So there's a very strong argument for doing that. Now the weapon we've got to go with that, in this case I've chosen a different one. We've gone with the M4. This build of the M4, again, we've stuck with the iron sights. We've got the laser on, because that just improves aim stability. We've got the high tower barrel. That's all about increasing your damage range, increasing your bullet velocity. The Ripper under barrel, the 45 round mag. So again, you're trying to increase the stability under automatic fire of the weapon. And if we go to the firing range, you should be able to kind of see that. So we have good recoil control, and the iron sights on the M4 are pretty good. So I think that's going to be an interesting weapon to use. Looked at a couple of different options here. Again, you'll pick up these around the map, but the smoke grenade, always good for getting yourself out of trouble, always good for final circles where you've got no cover. The lethal Molotov, again, great for area denial. So again, if someone starts shooting you from inside a house, you can throw this through the window and that will spread on the floor and start damaging them. Again, it probably won't kill them, but it will give you time to move away. If they're hiding behind a rock, throw it to one side of the rock and the fire will spread. Perk package 1, we've gone battle hardened and bomb squad, so we don't get hit by flashes as much or stun grenades. We don't take as much damage from explosives. Fast hands, so we can swap between our RPG and our M4 very, very quickly. And ghosts, stay off those UAVs, stay off those heartbeat sensors. And for a bit of fun, I thought, as you're running around, why not pick up the inflatable decoy? decoy, very good for final circles. You know, say you're in a 1v1 situation, pop down the decoy, move around, you know, rotate. You see the enemy, or you're not sure where they'll, just pop it and see if they start firing at it. You know, could work. Now, this one here. So what we've got here is the 5.56 Icarus. Now, I really enjoyed using the 5.56 Icarus in the main game, and basically it's an M4 with a never-ending magazine with a 50. Does it 50 round magazine? It has it. I can't quite remember. Let's have a look. Ammunition magazine. There we go. 100 round. Yes, I think it has a 50 round mag. You don't need the 100 round mag, which means that in almost every single firefight you get into, you will not have to reload. You'll be able to engage that enemy, especially in solos. You start engaging 1 or 2 people in solos, you won't have to reload. When you go behind cover and they're expecting you to be reloading, with the Icarus, you don't have to. You just pop out again when they're running toward you and shoot them. And we've put the laser on for aiming stability, cold forged barrel to increase damage range and bullet velocity. We've put the castle compensator on to control recoil, horizontal and vertical. We've got the shark fin as our grip. And let's just go into the firing range. You can kind of see it really is like an M4 this, and you'll see. Hey, where are you going? There really is. The recoil is very controllable. Now, what you find with the LMGs is the first couple of shots when you're first firing, the gun really jumps up. And the whole point with the LMG is that the recoil becomes more controllable under further automatic firing. So they're not actually that great at burst fire. You really want to be doing sustained fire, where you can really control that recoil. Now the reload time is pretty long. Another reason for having fast hands. But let's see how many bullets we get. How many bullets do we get? We get 75 bullets. Apologies. So that is more than enough. So I may well be giving the Icarus a go. Now I've teamed this up with the SPR 208 marksman rifle. Had great fun with this in the 6v6 mode. It's one shot kill to the upper chest and head. Now I'm not sure how that's going to affect us in WarZone 2.0. I think probably it might still be a one shot kill to the head, but it probably just crack armor if you hit people anywhere else, but we'll have to see. But I've put the 22.5-inch barrel on for increasing damage range and bullet velocity, laser for aiming stability. We've put the 8 times on it, and we've put the fast action scope on it as well. Be interesting to give it a go. Again, you're sacrificing rate of fire for sheer bullet damage. Yeah, I mean this may well be, but the way that you use this sort of gun is that, let's say you see someone running along, you would do the old, you shoot with this to get a shot in, and no matter what happens, as soon as you've fired this gun, you swap over to your fully auto. So you go bang, swap, and then like that. That's probably a bad example of that because of the gun had to load, but it would be bang, swap. So the idea is that you damage them with your first shot, and even if you don't kill them or crack them, the rate of fire from your second weapon will finish them off. Snapshot grenade, it's tactical again, and don't write these off as you're running around the map. Try them. The snapshot grenade, you throw it to where you think an enemy is, and it highlights them. You can kind of see through walls. Drill charge again, enemy goes behind cover, they're inside a house, or they've got a riot shield. Throw the drill charge, it will drill through that riot shield and kill them, or it will go through that wall of the house and explode. You can surprise people, again, final circles. Perk package with this one, overkill bomb squad, obviously. Again, you don't need overkill when you're in Warzone. Fast hands to swap. Now high alert I've put on as the ultimate perk. Don't discount high alert. There is, I keep saying this, but there is an argument that high alert is as powerful as ghost. Now if you haven't got ghost on, what's going to happen is people will see you on UAVs, and they'll be popping them, won't they, in the final circles. They will see you on heartbeat sensors, but the high alert gives you that little, the screen flashes on the side where the enemy's looking at you, and it just gives you that fraction of a second to then move before you get killed. Catch with high alert is if people are running cold-blooded, you won't get that high alert warning, but definitely consider it. It could be that perk that makes the difference between getting not noticed, you're getting looked at, which you won't do, and then with high alert, right, I'm getting looked at, and then you quickly duck, you quickly dive, you quickly run, and that kind of saves you. And then our final loadout is really looking at something like a SMG. So the Lackman sub, which is the MP5K. We've got the 12-inch barrel on to extend its damage range and bullet velocity. We've got the shark fin grip. I haven't got that much unlocked on this one. Secondary is of course the RPG. Gone a bit aggressive here, so we've got the flash grenade, so you can push people and flash them. We've got the C4, so you can chuck them into buildings and blow them up. And we've got dead silence to run around fast, nice and quiet in the final circles. So there we go. Hopefully that gives you some ideas of guns to think about for Warzone. Again, once we actually get in there and we see what the meta is, undoubtedly this will change. But definitely for solos, and as one of the players in your squad, I think there is definitely always an argument for having someone who has got a fully auto SMG or AR or LMG and an RPG, so they bring that firepower to use against enemies in buildings or enemy vehicles, or just as sheer splash damage, and so that should be pretty cool as well. And again, don't think you have to go sniper rifle, bolt action. Consider having that DMR like a fully automatic M4, which you can burst fire, you can just tickle that trigger with a big scope on it for taking out enemies, getting all those bullets downrange very, very quickly to take out those enemies. And there we go. So some ideas. What do you think? Put your questions and comments down below. Now, if you want to test these out before we get into Warzone, and even when Warzone's live and you don't want to actually jump into Warzone or DMZ, the way to do it, I think, is to play Invasion. Now, Invasion is like a massive game of team deathmatch with I think it's 20 versus 20 real players and then a load of bots. And all you got to do is go up to one side, flank basically, get to the middle of the map or where everybody's fighting, and then start engaging bots with your weapons. You can really get a feel of engaging with enemies at that longer range that you would normally get in a 6v6 map, that you only ever really come across when you're playing Warzone, or Ground War as well is the other one. But I find it with Invasion you get more of a chance to try out your weapons than you do in Ground War. So anyway, there we go. Good luck with WarZone 2.0 when it releases. Of course, if you're watching this after WarZone 2 is out, then I'm sure things have changed, but maybe this will still give you some ideas for Warzone loadouts. That's enough from me. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.